Hello friends, welcome to the Angular 8 tutorial. In this tutorial we will see HTTP client post method in Angular 8. In the previous tutorial we have seen HTTP client get method in Angular 8 and we created one example of student information and we learned that using an example. So before proceeding with this tutorial, I recommend you please go to the part 37 of this tutorial series and see how we used HTTP client get method in Angular 8. So let's start HTTP client post method in Angular. So basically a post method in Angular means posting or putting our data on the server, like inserting data on the server URL. So the post method basically take three arguments. First is the URL and the second is the data which we want to uh, insert into the URL or into the database. So that is the basically a full body of the data. And third is the options, like which contains like headers, params means any parameter value, those kind of things is the third argument. So this is the structure or syntax for the HTTP client post. Like a post method, first is the URL, that is mandatory. Second is the body, like that can be an any type or null. And next is the options, like if you want to put give any header or any other parameter like response. Here I have given all the list, like param we want to give any response type we want, like say successful or error. So kind of things if we want to get, we can do using the option. So these are the definition of the parameter which take the post method. Like URL is a type of a string which contain the like URL of the web service. Body is the, it is a type of any or of type of null. In this method it is a body of the post call. And the option, like in the previous tutorial I have explained, like it contains some header, this is a type of the HTTP headers. And the observe, which define like it's a complete response or body only. So those kind of things are defined by the observe. And the param, like if you want to pass any parameter for the get or post the request. So these are the some parameter which we used in HTTP post method. So here it will come as a post. So HTTP post method. So as I explained the previous tutorial, like if before proceeding with the Angular 8 HTTP clients, first we have to install this in memory web API. Like Angular provide us to test or to create a local database using the memory web API. Through that we can test our services. So before proceeding with this tutorial, I recommend you to please go to the part 33 and 37 and then proceed with this tutorial. So let's understand this HTTP client post using an example. So go to the Visual Studio Code. In this tutorial we are going to take the example of the previous tutorial, that is HTTP get. uh, this HTTP get which we created in the previous tutorial, and we inserted some data like this, and we were showing this data on the browser. So let's see on the browser first, like in the previous tutorial what we have done. So in the previous tutorial we have done like this, like it contains ID, name and gender, and we were showing some data on the browser. Now what is our requirement? We will create a text. So we will create a controls for these, and we will insert the data and it will reflect to this table. So that kind of scenario we are going to implement in this tutorial. Means we are going to insert this data into the table. So for that what we will do, let's delete this to record first, because we are going to insert some data from the screen now. And what I will do, I will take some more parameter to this. Like this was the interface which we created, like it's a properties. So here I will take one more parameter, so it will show the difference, that is age. That is the first thing we did. Now what I will do, I will define some raw data for this. So age, and I am default I am giving as 20. So that is the second thing which we have done. Now what we have to do next, after this we have to implement a insert method into the service. So let's create one insert method to this service. So what I will give the name, I will give like insert student info, and this is a method, and this method will take, and what kind of detail it will take? It will take the student interface type of detail it will take, because we are going to pass this full information from the browser. Like when I will click on submit button, this kind of information we are going to pass, and in this service we will take that kind of data. So as I explained, like all the method will be like observable type, and this observable type will be as a student interface. And next, inside this, let's take a one variable, and that is HTTP header. Means I am going to initialize the headers, and as I explained, like HTTP header will be type of HTTP headers, and I am going to set in this like what type of this will be data, like a JSON data. So how we initialize that? Content type, what it will be? It will be a JSON type, JSON. So that is the first thing. Now what I will do, I will take option, because we have to define, like as I explained, if we take the options, we define the headers. So first I defined this header as in a variable. Now I will assign this variable to headers. So options equal to, and what I am going to take, I am going to take headers. Headers colon, and what I am going to take? HTTP header. So this is the next thing. Now after this we will return this dot client dot post, and that will be student interface, and in this dot, what we are, like as I explained, like that this post method, what it takes, first it take as a student URL, and next it will take this full detail, like as I explained, like it take the URL, then it take the data, and after that if there is any option, if you want to pass, so that I want to show it here. So that is the thing, that like this we have created the one WebApi method, that is insert student info. So what we have done, like we are going to take the student data from the browser, and the return type of this student data is a observable, and the type of this observable is the student interface. Then we created one header, like what kind of data it will going to communicate, JSON type of data, and then we are going to create one post method, and in this post method, as I explained, it takes 3 parameters. First is the URL, second is the information which we are going to submit through browser, and then option if there is anything. So that is the thing. Now what we will do, we will create our HTML, like we are going to show on the browser. So let's go to the HTML page. Here this is an example of the previous tutorial. So now what I will do, let it be like this. So first I will take one form, like we are going to do using the reactive forms. So in the Angular form tutorial, I have explained already, like how to use the reactive form in Angular 8. If you didn't watch, go to the Angular form tutorial series and see how we use the reactive form in Angular 8. So we are going to work with the reactive form. So before that, what I will do, I will take one div, and I will take one class, and the class of this will be the container, and inside this div I will take this form. So as I explained, like for the form, if we are going to work with the reactive form, what we have to take? First we have to take the form group. So form group, and we have to give the name to this form group. So I'm going to give the name like student form, and we have to take a one button click like when we are going to submit the data. So ng submit, and here I will write a function name. So I will give submit info. So that is the first thing. Now inside this, what we will do, we will take our controls. So I will take control using the div, and inside this div, first I will decorate with the one class form group, and inside this I will take one label, and I will give like student name, and next what I will do, I will take a input, and type of this input is text, and then form control name. This is mandatory for the reactive form. Like if we are going to use the reactive form, this form group and then the form control. Like form group is basically a collection of the form control which we are going to take it here. So these two are mandatory. So I recommended you again, like before proceeding, have a look how we create the reactive form. So it will be very easy to understand. So here we have to give the form control name, and I will take one class, and the class will be form control. So that is the thing. And if we want to take, we can take placeholder like enter student name. So that is the first thing which we have taken for the name. Now next what I will do, I will take next div for the gender, and then I will take for the, let's create it first for the gender. So for gender actually we have to take the radio button. So what I will do here, so in this div, let's remove it fully, and I will take one input, and the type of this input should be equal to, first I will take one ID for this male, and type will be radio because we are going to take the radio, and we have to give the value male, and the name for the radio button. This is the main property which we have to take. Like this name property should be matched for the all the radio button. So name property I will give as a gender, and next we'll take form control name, and this is mandatory as I explained. So I will take as a gender only. So this will create, and I will take a label here. In this label I will write male, and here I will give like for male. So this we have created for the male. Now same I will copy for the female, and here I will write like female radio button, and here I will give value as a female, and the name should match. So that is fine, and form control name will be also same, so it will take same value. And here I will write female, and here again I will write as a female. So that we have done for the gender. Now next is the like age. So what I will do, I will copy this student 1. So I will copy this, I will paste it, so it will be easy and fast to do. And here I will write student age, and form control name I am going to give as a age, and the type I will take as a number because we are going to show the numbers. And here I will write enter student age. Now next what we have to do, we have to create a one button, like we are going to submit the data. So I will give one space and new line basically, and here I will take one div, and inside this div I will take one button, and type of this button will be submit, and I will take one class, and class of this as a primary button, primary. And here I will take one ID, and ID will be student info, and here I will put it a property or attribute like disabled, like for the validation. And how we give the this attribute, like this student form is invalid, means if all the property invalid, like if I didn't fill all the values, then it should be disabled. Once I give all the values, then it should be enabled. So that kind of validation I have given for the button. And here I will write, I will give save. And now that is we have done with the HTML page. So first let's see this HTML page on the browser. So on the browser it is showing like a one control, student name, male, female, and this student age, and this save button. And now what I will do, here I will give one like one HR. Here I will write a, I will take a one paragraph, and that I will give like if we save and save is successful, then we will show message like record save successfully kind of message we will show, and we will show that message based on one condition. So record saved successfully. So that will show on the browser, but based on one condition. So what I will do, I will take one star ng in I capital for ngif, and here I will take one parameter data saved, and I will take one class as ng class C capital, and I will take success. So that paragraph we have taken here. So that is the thing. Now what we have to do on the component page. In the component page we have to make some modification, and we have to create it using the form builder. So here first what we have to do, we have to comment it first. Like first what we will do, we will take a one parameter here. So first we will define this parameter and by default we will take it as a false. So by default I will take it as a false first, and we will take a one variable student form as a form group. So basically this form group I have imported it here from forms library. So first we have to import it. So and this student form basically is this student form, and this should match with this name, otherwise our application will not work. So this should match it. So I have taken form group. Now what I will do, this .NET student I will take as a observable, and this will be a student interface and array type, because array type means we have to send it the full data. So that is the next thing which we have to do. Now in the constructor, as I explained, like for form builder, what we have to take, we have to take one variable of form builder, then based on that we have to assign the value. So I will take like form builder, and the type of this is form builder, and again we have to import it from like forms library. I have imported it. So that is the next thing. Now what we have to do, in the in ng on init we have to assign the values, all the value. So this dot student form, and we have to assign the value like this dot form builder dot group. These all things we have seen in the Angular form tutorials already, like how we use the reactive form and template driven form in the Angular 8. So we are doing in that way only. So here we are assigning the control value, and that is the default value, and here we are going to give the validators, and what kind of validator that is required, like this is a mandatory. So I will copy it, so it will be very easy, and here comma, this one I am going to take as gender, and this one I am going to take as a age. So basically these all three names should match with the form control name. These form control name we have given, so these should match with this, otherwise again application will not work. So that is the next thing which we have done. Now what we will do, here we will create a one function submit, which we have taken here like submit info. And here in HTML page basically it's a function, so we have to make it as a function. So in the submit info, now this dot data saved first as a false, and I will take one variable, let std equal to this dot student form dot value. So I have taken full value into the one variable, and what I will do, this dot, and I will take one function post data, and that function I am going to define a bit. So I will assign this full data to this function, and what I will do, once we set full data, then I will reset this controls. So here I am going to take or create one function like post data, and this will take as a, what it will take student interface means this full data it will take, and I am going to post it on server. So this dot service dot insert student info, and what it takes, it take this interface and subscribe, and this one, and what it will take, this dot data saved. Like if it is successful, then I'm going to make it as a true. So that is the first thing. And next, this dot get .NET student function I'm going to call here. And what is this function basically, which I have defined it here, this .NET student, and here we have to take it in the curly braces basically. So that is the thing, we are posting this data on the server, and here we are going to assign this full data student dot .NET student equal to, and this full data I'm going to take in this. So that is the thing. I'm going to remove this first. So what we have done in this class, first we have taken some variables, like one is this is a saved data which we are going to show on the browser once the data is successful submitted, and then this is a submit student form which we have taken as a type of the form group, and we have taken as a type of form group this one here, and we have taken .NET student, this is a type of this observable student interface. Then in this constructor we have taken a one form builder, and we have assigned all the controls value, and then we are calling .NET student, like here this thing. And now then what we have done, we have created here submit info, like this submit info we are going to show on the, like once I click on the button, then we are going to submit this information on the server. So here I have created one more function, post data, and through that I am calling that insert student info, which we have declared inside the service. This function we have inserted here. So that is the thing which we have done, and based on this I am going to make it as a true and calling that function, and here I am going to assign all the value into the student .NET student variable. Now what I will do, I will show this information on the browser once it is done. So that is .NET student, and this will work as a async. In the async portion we have seen how it works. So now let's save it and see on the browser. So we have saved it, so it is loading. So we can see, like by default it is showing as the one record which we are already having. So here enter student name, I will give Munesh, and I will give mail, and here I will give like 28, and if I will submit, we can see here it is showing the information, like ID is automatically generated. So for ID we didn't create anything. If I will give next name Rahul, mail, and I will give 26, let's save it. So in that same way we can show our information, and in that way only this HTTP client post works in the Angular. So this is the way we can create HTTP client post in our Angular 8. So that is all about this HTTP client post. If you have any question or doubt, please comment. Thank you.